Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Ciudad Juárez is a Mexican city on the border with the United States. It is home to the Juárez drug cartel, the city where women homicides rose at the most alarming rate during the 90s, and the most violent city in the world for several years in a row. I grew up in Ciudad Juárez. In such a city, I saw many friends and neighbors choose the narcos way of style. The excessive money, the luxuries, the easy power, and the popularity. Many of these friends and neighbors were incarcerated. Many others were killed. Prohibition has not able to prevent any of it. The time has come to accept that we have been betting the wrong solution. Prohibition has made criminal organizations too rich to handle. We have not been able to stop or even reduce the consumption of drugs. On the contrary, prohibition has forged a market for legal chemical drugs that are much more harmful than marijuana or even cocaine. Even worse, we had set up the conditions for a black market that offers drug dealers the opportunity to profit with a huge markup. Countries where drugs are produced, countries like Mexico, face a double drama. We face the same challenge as you do regarding consumption. How to stop our kids from trying drugs, from becoming addicts. But we also face the challenge of stopping our youth for being recruited by criminal organizations. Our youth has come to believe that it's better to have a lavish life for a few years than to face poverty forever. TV series, for example, have enforced the idea that the narcos' way of life is seductive, exciting, and possible. 3 years ago, our federal police captured a 12-year-old hitman. He confessed to killing 4 people. The police estimate he had killed over 50 for a weekly wage of $120. He was a member of the South Pacific Cartel, a criminal organization whose members are all between 23 and 31 years old. Mexican prisons are saturated with our young people. Many of them don't know how to do anything but break the law. Prison will hardly be able to offer them a second chance, an opportunity to choose right from wrong. The Mexican state has been investing in the grown future for our children. We spend 80 times as much money on law enforcement against drugs than on prevention of addictions. 4 times the annual budget of our biggest state university. We spend 30% more on an inmate than on a college student. In the meantime, the black market for illegal drugs is seducing our youth, is corrupting our authorities, is the main reason for the violence that my country suffers every day. The black market has been our gift to organized crime. We can't afford to keep this nonsense going on. We have to rethink the way we approach drugs. Yes, consumption, but also production and trafficking. In the last few years, a some body of research has been suggesting that law obedience is less triggered by fear than by internal motivations. The same goes for drug consumption. There are alternatives that prove that taking time to understand addiction in its individual circumstance and using cognitive, evidence-based approaches can actually modify consumers' habits. Providing education, inspiring a sense of responsibility, offering opportunities, treating consumers with respect are the key elements proven to reduce consumption effectively. However, they are not enough. We also have to tackle the black market that has been providing criminal organizations the money to capture our children and destroy our communities. Regulating drugs can offer our states the opportunity to reorganize our public spending, to change our focus from punishment to prevention, to act before the harm is done, to provide our youth an alternative of the drug nightmare. Because the first step, the most important step to reduce the harm of drug trafficking and consumption, to protect our youth, is putting an end to its black market. We should not waste another generation on ineffective and costly policies. There is a challenge. There is a problem that we need to solve. I think we can all agree on the same objectives. But we have to stop relying on policies based on stigma and fear. It's time to change our approach to drugs. It's time to act in a more human and fair way. I thank you all.